What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. Thanks for pressing play. Today, we're in a little bit of a different location. This is the new garage. Let's do a quick tour because I want to show you all of the things that are here and all the things that are going to be here in the future. Let's do it. All right, so I actually made this video whenever we first moved in, which was about a week ago now, and somehow it got deleted. So what we have in the garage here hasn't moved much since we moved in, but just so we're on the same page, I'm gonna go through it all again. This is obviously a 3-car garage. There's one single stall here where Amber will be parking her car, and then there's a double car garage stall here that will house my ZR1 and my C8Z06 once we get them over here. So for now, there's a couple things just kind of chilling in the garage, but right off the bat, you can tell there's a lot to do here. So I am going to paint the walls gray, the ceilings and the beam black, and over here is where I'm going to put all of the cabinets. So obviously we started moving some of this stuff in. The cabinets are going to go into this area here, which is kind of a bump out. So the garage comes in and then goes back in this area, and I'm going to put all my cabinets against that wall, and this tool chest will go over here, and then here is where I'm going to set up my custom pressure washer setup like I have in my other garage. Back here is where there was some really not very good looking wooden cabinets that we already pulled off the wall. That was kind of a treat. You can see I'm currently have an electrician moving the outlets because this is where I'll be able to use them while on the workbench that the cabinets connect with. This right here will actually be completely covered by the cabinet once those go on the wall. So I'll have an outlet spaced, centered right above the workbench area. So actually, I'm sorry, 2 outlets centered there. So that will be all cabinets against this back wall. Pressure washer right here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do just yet over on this wall, but that's going to be getting moved, like I said, over here by the door. That is a heater for the garage that we're actually in the process of removing. I have my electrician taking the wiring for this up over onto Amber's side because we're going to install a mini split over here in this area.
And for today's sponsor, let's head back to the old garage real quick for something pretty cool.
And that is going to be Forgive-Me. This is a wireless HDMI transmitter and receiver kit. And what that's going to do is exactly what it sounds like. It's going to allow you to wirelessly transmit any kind of HDMI signal with this little device here. So one goes into the device you're transmitting to, and then another one goes into the device you're transmitting from. So I'll plug this into my laptop and then into the TV, and we can wirelessly broadcast the HDMI signal to the TV for YouTube videos, movies, pictures, whatever it is you want up on this display. You could do it straight from your laptop or anything that has an HDMI port. It supports up to a 1080p connection, and there's no Bluetooth or Wi-Fi connection required. So you can do this without a wireless internet connection. Now, this is something a little different than what we typically do on the channel here. I don't usually get much into technology stuff, but this thing is really cool, and there's a lot of uses for this. So if you guys have like a home theater room or something where you want to be able to wirelessly connect any of your devices to your projector, this is going to come in handy for sure. Now, obviously with us in the garage, it's also going to come in handy. So let me show you how it works. So here we are in the garage with my laptop. I wanted to go ahead and connect this. I've connected this before via just the HDMI plug, but I also put the USB-C adapter on there just to see how different it is with that plugged in instead. So let's go ahead and plug it into the USB-C port on the laptop, and you should be able to see that TX button flash, basically letting you know it's ready to go. Now after that, we're going to go plug it in on the TV as well to let it connect to the receiver. So with it set up, we should be able to just go ahead, hit the power button, and we should start seeing some sort of connection here in a second. And there it is. So as you should be able to see here, it is literally mirroring exactly what is on my laptop screen. So we'll go ahead and we'll make this full screen and then hit play, and then there it is. Now I have the volume of the TV turned all the way down, but you can see, boom. Both are playing at the same time. This light stops flashing and turns solid. I didn't have to do anything with the devices, just plug them in, make sure it was on the right input, and it is ready to go. So again, great addition for like a home theater room or a business if you're putting up some sort of PowerPoint presentation, but this is my business area right here in the garage. So really, really a cool addition. Now, like I said, if you wanted to go crazy with this, I would plug the transmitter in upstairs to my TV in the living room and literally be able to put all of the shows and everything I want to watch right down here without having to have an extra cable box or anything like that. Super cool device. Guys, if you're interested in it, check out the link in the description down below.
Now, unfortunately, the ceilings in this garage were not tall enough for a lift. I was hoping that they would be, but after measuring it, there's pretty much no way that that would work, especially with that beam. So there is not going to be a lift in here, but there's still going to be plenty of room for Amber's car and both of my Corvettes, which means this baby doesn't have to spend its time in storage anymore. It can stay right here at home. We already had a 220 line put in for her electric charger. So that's all mounted on the wall. We're going to get something nice for the wiring there and everything. Like I said, these walls are going to be painted gray, and then everything in here will be black and then gray again. And then the ceiling will be black with new lighting. So I'm going to have all new hexagonal lighting put up here. These fluorescent tube lights are going to go. And so the ceiling will be black with a bunch of hexagonal lighting. You guys saw in my current garage as 4 boxes I bought of that hexagonal lighting. I'm going to need probably 8 to 10 boxes in this garage because I want this area completely covered with hexagon, this area from wall to wall completely covered in hexagonal lights, and then over here as well completely covered with hexagonal lights. Now tomorrow I actually have a garage door company coming out because we're looking to get new garage doors and new garage door openers. So we're going to end up with something similar to the neighbor's garage doors, I think, but the garage door openers are going to be side mounted on the spring area there, so they'll mount right to the wall and spin those instead of mounting on the ceiling and looking not so nice. Plus they're super loud. So once we get new doors and the new door openers over here, these things will basically be completely silent in operation, which is awesome. But after that, we're also gonna kind of do something clever with the garage door openers. Of course, they'll also be Wi-Fi compatible, battery backup, all that good stuff. The door opener button right now is right here, and it's kind of an interesting placement for it because when you walk in, you can't close the door behind you. So we'll figure something out with that, but for now, that's how that's gonna go. Like I said, he's coming tomorrow to take a look at all that. And then I have next week scheduled, so I'm gonna come out and look at the floor. I'm gonna put a sample image up here while I'm talking of what I'm gonna have the epoxy floor look like this time. I'm going with a really black and gray kind of theme with all of this. So the floor is going to factor right into that. Floor is going to be black with a marbled gray kind of appearance. And again, it's going to be all epoxy, and it's going to be done all the way through this 3-car garage with this bump out done and everything. Then we have a bunch of Corvette wall art, of course, some new stuff. One of my subscribers actually sent me this. This is going to go in the garage. And then this one right here actually came from Darren. I'll put the information down below if you guys want to grab one of these though. This is basically, it's not actually neon, but it looks like a neon sign. That's going to be going up in the garage. That's the TV that's going to go in the garage, which I'm going to mount that over on this wall here, which will be on my side with the 2 Corvettes. It'll be mounted right in that area there. So that's kind of the plan for now. There's not a whole lot happening yet. We had some things moved over, like my 2 garage drawers there and the 2 big cabinets and my tool chest, but I don't want to put any of this stuff together yet until we get the paint and the floor done, and maybe even the lighting. So a lot of this stuff is going to wait until more is done before I get too much involved in it. But I wanted to give you guys just a quick tour because last garage update I made from my previous house actually got a lot of pretty positive interaction. You guys seem to like the garage updates. So this is what we're doing here, and I'm gonna film as we're doing it. So when the lights go in, when the paint's going down,
when the floor's going in, all this stuff is going to get filmed, and it's going to be kind of a step-by-step process, because my previous garage obviously turned out pretty nicely, but the work was done kind of behind the scenes, so to speak. So a lot of it was done without me filming any of it. I didn't think you guys would be interested in seeing it, but the last video kind of told me that's not the case here. So again, big 2-bay garage for my 2 cars, the single bay here for Amber's car so she can pull it in and literally use the charger that we had put in right there. The outlets are still uncovered. There's no cover plate on them yet because of the paint that's going to be happening here shortly. Once that paint's done, we'll put those covers on, of course, and then move on to getting the floor done. So you kind of got to do this in a certain process, a certain step, because you don't want to do the floor first and then have them do the paint and drop paint all over your brand new floor. So in this situation, paint is first. We're going to actually pull down these lights this week as well, get rid of the lights in total so the painter can come in and literally just paint all of it. And once it's all completely painted, then we can do the floor, then we can start doing the lights and really start diving into this. So that's kind of going to do it, guys. I just wanted to show you real quickly what the garage looks like right now and what my plans are for it. So I hope you guys follow along with this, because like I said, I'm going to be updating this pretty frequently. So if you like what you saw here, guys, thumbs up for me. Subscribe if you haven't yet, because you're definitely not going to want to miss what's coming. I got a ton of stuff you're going to love if you're into garage content. And as always, stay obsessed.